Sunday. Just wanted to jump on here because I just got off of my coaching call with Glow and Stefan out of the Life Leap program. So I'm feeling inspired and just wanted to really update all of you and share with all of you where I'm currently at in life. We're at the turning point, y'all. We are at the transition. We're at the up leveling. We're in the messy middle of all these things. And I just wanted to decide today that I want to show up here on video and start documenting the journey more consistently and really just get out of my own way. Truly get out of my own way and also get over myself. Like truly get over myself, because what I've learned is that I am attracted to, currently right now, I'm attracted to the stories about the transition, because I don't think there's enough people talking about it, documenting it, and also processing it in real time. And I feel like I owe it to my younger self and for anyone who is trying to get to where they need to be, to document it more closely so that we can follow along with each other. So for me, it's about walking hand in hand and walking alongside each other, as opposed to getting to that point and being like, okay, like, let me help you, you know? That I feel like is content that I've been putting out ever since content was able to be put out on YouTube over a decade ago. And if I look back at that content, it's very much been about like, hey, this is what I'm learning right now. I hope that this helps you on your journey. Take whatever you need that speaks true to you and onward, you know? And for me to currently be in a place where I'm really working on mindset and spiritual development, really doing a deprogramming and a reprogramming, it's really hard to process in real time, because the truth is revealing itself and I'm just trying to make sense of it all and trying to piece it together. And so I think that there's a beauty in piecing it together in front of folks, alongside folks, and especially with this tool called social media, that I feel like it would be, again, a disservice not only to those who've been so supportive over the years, if you've found me on this new Instagram, but also just a disservice to my younger self and for young people coming behind us, you know? So I just wanted to catch you all up as to like what's actually happening in life, so that you can get a snapshot as to like what content's gonna look like moving forward. So again, I just got off of a call of the Life Leap program with my coaches, Glow and Stefan. And I first met Glow in 2022 when I attended Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. It was a virtual event and it was around my birthday. And so I just turned 32 and I was like, I'm going to make that a birthday gift for myself and also a birthday gift for Aisa, because they're a February birthday. And I just knew that, you know, with the pandemic and what it was and what happened, I just was like, you know what? And the guy is well established in San Diego. It's in my ether. It is what it is. So I was like, I'm going to do this. I deserve that. And if there's anything that I love investing in full transparency, if I idolize anything, it will be knowledge. You know, as an educator, it's always going to be something more intellectual and knowledge based. And so that's something that I'm working on in this season, where it's like, okay, like get out of your head, get into your body, get into life, and really tune in, right? So anyways, I just remember seeing Glow, and they were the only person of color and also a woman of color as a guest speaker. And I was like, I'm going to follow that person, you know? Because if she made it to that level of success, like, you know, despite what you think about Tony Robbins, like, despite, you know, whatever the case may be, he's given language to what our elders have been doing forever, right? Like, he says that he, like, started the coaching industry because he gave language to it, because it wasn't about coaching what we thought of before was in sports. He was like, I'm coaching people in life. And so given access, given privilege, being a straight white guy, he was able to have that level of influence to then, you know, continue to cultivate this industry in the modern day world for the past, you know, 30 years, 40 years, whatever the case may be. So, but wanting to give ode that our elders have been doing this forever, and, you know, that's just is what it is. So, yeah, so I was like, Glow's gonna be my coach. Like, I followed her page, and I was like, she's into the traveling and things of that sort, and I'm still in the bug of, do I like traveling or whatever. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna follow her. Maybe she's gonna inspire something in that way. And so, you know, not so many years later, a couple years later, I started working at the church, as you all know, and I was, you know, doing the thing that I had to do there, was really putting in a firm foundation. What's up, Tiff? And, you know, yeah, doing that work there. But eventually my time came to an end, and I was just like, okay, like, I remember specifically going to the church and be like, if it doesn't work here, I'm gonna have to go out on my own. If I can't find what I feel like I'm meant to do in this space, in this place, I was like, I don't know what else is there. I've tried everything else that I felt like felt in alignment with me, and at that point, I'm gonna have to go out on my own. But of course, in my head, I was like, of course it's gonna be at the church. Like, I love people, I love the things that we do. Like, of course I'm gonna stay here for a long time. Well, as we all know, in a world where church and religion and any kind of belief and stuff, we're kind of at a tension right now. We're at a tension, and you know, it's not sustainable to survive in this world. And so I was like, okay, all right, kid, like, we gonna have to do something about this. And so, ironically, the book, The Big Leap, was handed to me, and I read through it and was learning about our upper limiting beliefs, and just kind of realizing, like, we're the ones that are putting a cap on ourselves. And I was like, okay, I was like, how do I break through this, you know? And so kind of life was just happening. And one thing that it said in the book was like, leap and the net will appear. And I was like, for someone who likes to plan, for someone that likes to have some strategy and tactics in hand, someone who likes to go, you know, big vision and far out. And I also want to recognize that's also what we've been trained on. Like, we've been trained to be like, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? What, like, we've been trained. Yeah, I mean, you have to think about it. Since kindergarten, we've been trained to always be like forward looking, right? Like what college you're going to go to, what's your major, you know, what's your whatever. And being programmed in that way. And so to leap and the net will appear was and is still like, what? You're telling me to go in midair with no plan, having the faith that something will appear. And so I was like, okay, look, if that is for real, you better push me off. You better push me off to finally leap. And so during this time, I was like building a relationship with Glow on social media, and was just learning more about her. You know, I'm learning that she's an Aries also. I'm learning that she's in the basketball. I'm learning that she's a believer also. So I was like, I want this to be my guide. Like, I want them to be my coach. You know, I was like, I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know why. But they ended up releasing a program called the Life Leap. And so at this point, I had already left a church, y'all, with no backup plan. Okay, so I left already with no backup plan, and was like, I'm going to live off of whatever is the left of my savings. And so I saw that she released that program, and so I decided to apply. And I applied, and I got in. But truth be told, I was like, look, this money, the last of what I have left, it's going to go towards my rent to keep this roof over my head, right? And so I continued to stay engaged on social media and in communication with them. And so, of course, they were like, you know, obviously when that time comes around, like, reapply and we can restart this conversation. I was like, okay, cool. So I don't know if y'all remember, but I ended up going to Montreal for the second time. When did I go? I think it was like in August or something like that. It was definitely the end of the summer. It was most recently. And I was still in conversation with Glow, and they somehow reached out back just to check in. And I was like, Glow, I'll be honest with you. This is on email. I was like, I'll be honest with you. I was like, I already leapt. I already leaped. And, you know, this is what it is, you know? And so she got back to me and was like, hey, actually, we can give you a partial scholarship. There was a Filipina in the program that wanted to put that money towards someone in the future, for a future student. So, you know, would you be able to make that work? And so I told her, I was like, thank you so much for thinking of me and wanting to apply that towards me. But again, I leapt and that's still not a place where I can even meet you halfway in that point, you know? Like, I'm truly just living off the last of my savings here in Montreal, and was like, I can't make it happen. And so I remember we were at a pool bar billiards place, right? And I got an email from Glow and was like, hey, like, I understand, I hear you, let me see if we could do something else for you. And I was like, okay. I was like, good, you know? So I got that email back, and yeah, I just remember they were just like, hey, like, we got you. I don't know who got what, got when, got where, but they were just like, we got you. And I was like, okay. I was like, wow, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, I was so stunned by it. I was like, I'm still stunned by it. I still don't have words for it. I remember being really excited. I remember feeling really excited, but like, it wasn't like this excitement, like, oh my goodness, like, this is amazing, this is incredible. It wasn't like this elated excitement. It was like more of like, whoa, like, the whole leap in the net will appear. Like, this was the leap, and Glow and her program being the net and it appearing. And I'm feeling emotional because I think for me, that was the first time in a long time that someone just saw something in me and wanted to extend their hand and be like, look, like, you may not be able to, you know, meet us right now in terms of energy exchange monetarily, but like, I believe in you, and I still want to help you, and I still want to plant this seed, and I still want to support you, because I believe in you, because I know that this will somehow come back in tenfold, you know. And that makes me emotional because that's always been, for a very long time, I can't say always, because if we say always and never, like, that means indefinite. But for a lot of my life, majority of my life, if not dang near close to 99%, my pain point has been guidance and mentorship and role models, right? Being first generation, and figuring out how to live life, you know, here without my parents or any, you know, anyone in my family being like, this is how we did it, this is how we figured it out, you know. And over time, and so it's my pain point so much so that it's become my purpose, right? So it's been my purpose in wanting to show up online and wanting to become a teacher at one point, but not wanting to do it in the educational system and like all of these things, because I've been wanting to be who I needed when I was younger, you know. And so when you look back to old content, like, that's what it's been for me. It's just like, I just know that I need to show up here speaking my truth, because like, I don't know what kid on the other side is going to scroll past my feed and be like, this person looks like me. They're talking about things I've never heard come from a vessel like that before, whatever the case may be. And so, again, that extension of Glow's hand, and again, whatever needed to happen on the back end to be like, I believe in you and I trust you, and I know that if you have this information and this knowledge, like, you're going to actually do something with it. I just felt truly held, just by God for the first time. Like, whoa, the net did appear. And as I'm, you know, this happened already a few months ago, and being here in this new place in Lucadia at my roommate's place, like, what I'm learning now, like, in the 4D realm, in the spiritual realm, is like, and just being completely honest with myself, not having enough examples of the net appearing because I haven't put myself out there, and I haven't leapt enough. I haven't taken enough risks for the net to appear. So what I'm learning now is that, like, when you go to it, it will come to you. But because I'm learning that, of course, a level of protection, a level of safety, the way that I've had to take care of myself is the planning, is the preparation, that it's also prevented me from taking the action and taking the risks. And so this was me taking a risk of being vulnerable and being like, Glow, I really want to, but this is just what it looks like right now. I can't, you know, at this point, and really just trusting that, again, the net will appear. And so yeah, this brings me full circle to just sharing with you, I'm in their Life Fleet program. I've been in it for the past like few months. As you all know, I've been trying to figure out how to help people with their devices and their distractions, and it's been, a working progress. And I'm back in the program. We just got off of our coaching call. I'm rewatching old things, rewatching, content from the beginning. And it's reworking itself. And so what it's reworked itself to be, as you all know, it's death to distraction. As I've realized for myself that everyone has different motivators. And for me, my motivator is death. It's life and death, right? It's realizing that it's inevitable for us, that's a part of the agreement we had when we shook hands with God. And also the motivator is to live the fullest life we possibly can, whatever that looks like for us, right? And so I had to rebrand it in a way, be like, look, I need to feel motivated to put the work in here into this thing, knowing that it's going to help people in the future. And so now I'm coming to this full circle with death to distraction and what I'm learning of who I want to serve and who I've always wanted to serve. And now it's just revealing itself even more so. It goes back to leadership. It goes back to leadership. It goes back to student leaders. It goes back to my younger self. It goes back to me getting back into those spaces and places of education, and realizing that I can still meet those people where I'm at. I can still meet students and leaders where they're at without having to be a part of the educational system. So I feel super excited about it. And that is something that I'm learning to follow. I'm learning to not follow my brain and its planning so much and its risk adversity that it doesn't like to take. But it's really just following the feeling, like, what do I feel excited about? What work am I willing to put energy towards? And like willing to wake up, for these coaching calls and to just do the work. So I want to just share on here, right? Like Instagram has been a place of creativity. A lot of times it's, any following I've built on social media, it's been because of creative efforts, But if I look back on things that feel in alignment with me, and even down to the people I like to bring onto any sort of podcast or show that I have, currently connecting the dots, it's always been in the back of my mind that I can't have anyone on the show that my younger self wouldn't appreciate. My younger self wouldn't be able to learn from. My younger self wouldn't be able to relate to. So if you look back on any of the guests I have on Connecting the Dots or on Phoenix Rising or on the Uncommon Collective or on any freaking show, platform, podcast I've ever created, on the back of my mind, it's always been, can my younger self be inspired by them, entertained by them, or informed by them, or can relate to them in any way? And so, again, I just want to come on here and let y'all know, like, I'm going to get out of my own way. I'm going to get over myself. And I'm going to share the process of me leaping into creativepreneurship. Because I have already tried everything else that I thought some employer can hold for me. But I'm at this place where, like, the only person I work for is God. Everyone else is I work with. Like, I'll work with y'all. Work for, work with. And so today's the day I'm deciding. We are documenting this transition to support people and who want to make the leap themselves. And so instead of reaching back at me like, oh yeah, I'm all successful and like it's gonna happen and like whatever, and reaching back, be like, I'll show you how I did it. We're just gonna do it together. I'm gonna just share with you as it's happening. It's gonna be messy. It's gonna be unclear. It's gonna be confusing sometimes, but it's gonna get done. And so for those of you who've been following whatever you've been following, I just want to make this clear to you now that if this isn't in alignment with you, that's perfectly fine. And if it is in alignment with you, if you find yourself as a leader, if you find yourself who has young people in their lives that they care about, and that they can see leadership qualities in them, if you're wanting to improve on leadership skills in any way, then I would say this is the place to be. For me, that's something I've always been passionate about, and what I'm always working towards, oftentimes working towards, not all the time, because in leadership, it's important to know when to step up and to step back, right? And so this is me stepping up myself, leveling up my, my social media thingamajiggies, and just realizing that I want to raise my hand and be seen and let people know that they're not alone in their journey. They're not alone in their process, and that what you can expect is I'm going to be showing up with leadership and particularly where I'm currently at in terms of spiritual development, mental development, and doing the deprogramming and reprogramming, but also wanting to share the journey and document the journey of me working on death to distraction. Heading number 2, move your mission forward. Okay, so I love y'all. I appreciate you. If you decide to leave, I wish you well. I wish you peace. I wish that you walk in love and light and you continue to make the decisions best for you so you can continue to receive your blessings. And for those of you who are down for this, I will see you all in the next post, whatever that will be. I need to go through the program and find some level of consistency and some strategy here. But yes, today is going to be about continuously working on this workshop, which again is going to be geared towards leaders, particularly student leaders. And I'm working on like how to get into student affairs, and leadership folks, directors and leadership in colleges and universities. So if you know someone who is in those positions, let them know that I know someone that's working on something that might help with their student retention and engagement, and figuring out how we can best support our young people in this next generation. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I love you. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.